A rare death in Sarasota County, what health officials say the man did that caused him to die from flesh-eating bacteria.
We want to make sure that our law enforcement officers are as well protected as possible.
Keeping our officers safe, what the community is now doing to get them better bulletproof vests. And a day of celebration in Thailand. Young soccer players share the lessons they learned from spending days trapped in a cave. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. New at noon today, confirmation that one person has died on the Suncoast because of flesh-eating bacteria. The death happened in Sarasota County. Health officials have not released much information, but we do know the victim was a 71-year-old man. They say the man ate an oyster with the Vibrio vulnificus bacterium. Health officials say he got sick on July 8th and then died 2 days later. The bacterium that causes flesh-eating bacteria lives in warm salt water and can cause serious infections. The Sarasota case is one of 16 cases reported in Florida this year. There has been one case reported in Manatee, but it was not a fatal case. New developments involving the investigation into the death of a Northport toddler. An autopsy is being conducted today to determine the official cause of death of 20-month-old Ava Perry. Police are now working with the Department of Children and Families on that investigation. Police say the little girl was playing with her sister in her family's backyard yesterday morning when she disappeared. Police found her a few hours later in a canal about a half-mile away from her home. That canal also borders the little girl's backyard. When police found her, she was still alive, but Ava died and she was rushed to the hospital. Police are still talking to the child's parents about exactly what happened. The threat of an active shooter with stronger weapons has some members of the Sarasota community trying to get better protection for local police officers. ABC 7's Ray Collins has details of a fundraiser for state-of-the-art bulletproof vests. Ray?
Scott, officers do have bulletproof vests, but they're not strong enough anymore to protect against high-caliber weapons. That's why the Sarasota Police Foundation is trying to raise $50,000 for these ballistic vests like these. They're called Level 3. They currently have Level 2. Supporters from the foundation say they're trying to avoid having police use tax dollars.
The target is $50,000 to basically equip all the sworn officers, about 170 people, with what they call plate carriers or ballistic grade vests.
Is this kind of a sign of the times, Jeff?
Well, I think it is. I think we're seeing a lot more violent activity in the media throughout the country. We want to make sure that our law enforcement officers are as well protected as possible.
For more on that fund drive, check out the Police Foundation page on Facebook or their website, sarasotapolicefoundation.org. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you. In just a few hours, the Northport Police Department will finally have a new chief. A swearing-in ceremony is set for 6 o'clock tonight. ABC 7's Marla Spence has a preview from Northport.
It's an exciting day for one new addition to the Northport Police Department. After months of searching and nearly 88 applicants, the department finally has a new chief in charge. The new chief being sworn in today is Chief Todd Garrison. The 45-year-old is a third-generation law enforcement officer and has 26 years of professional law enforcement experience. He was previously employed by the Lee County Sheriff's Office as a captain and a district commander. He's also a graduate of the FBI National Academy. His new transition into the police department comes after former police chief Kevin Vespia retired late March. Garrison will be sworn in tonight at 6 o'clock at the City Commission chambers. I'm Marla Spence reporting in Northport for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. And the first ever chief of the Sarasota County Schools Police Department says he's looking forward to the challenge ahead. The school board voting to officially hire Paul Grohowski at their meeting yesterday. Over the next 2 years, Chief Grohowski will be responsible for establishing a full safety and security police force for the school district. He'll also work closely with local law enforcement to fulfill school resource officer programs. Grohowski has 22 years of experience in law enforcement and most recently served as Director of Public Safety for a community college in Santa Maria, California. A mixed report card for the Sarasota County School Superintendent, though. The board giving Todd Bowden some high and some low marks, ending with a 3-star rating or an effective rating. The board also approved a $12,000 pay raise up to $197,000 a year. They also discussed removing a clause in his contract that would allow the board to fire him without cause. Board members also agreeing to extend that contract from 2020 until 2022.
So I don't think anything today was done out of malice or meanness or spite. It's a true reflection of their perspective. And so I think it's indicative of we've got some work to do.
We need to take it seriously, no matter whether there was a lot of back and forth or a chaotic couple of months prior to or not. It's our one opportunity to discuss as a board where we have been and where we're going, and the leadership that's brought us there or hasn't achieved the goals that we wanted.
Bowdoin is also being given thousands of dollars in bonus money for achieving 2 of 3 performance goals over the last year. Well, we are now in the middle of hurricane season, but it's a good idea to be prepared for flooding all year long. Manatee County is giving you 2 opportunities this summer to stock up on sandbags. The first happens Saturday, July 28th from 8 a.m. until noon at the county's new transit facility on Televast Road in Bradenton. The second chance comes Saturday, August 18th from 8 a.m. until noon at the Bradenton Area Convention Center in Palmetto. You'll be allowed to bring home up to 10 sandbags per household. A good idea, John, I think you would agree, if you live in an area that you know tends to flood when we get a heavy rain event.
Sure. Whatever you can do, whatever you need to do.
Why wait until, after you need them, or
That's right.
when everyone else is going to be coming for them.
And filling up, 50 sandbags at one time is a lot of hard work.
Yes, it is.
So, as much preparation as you can possibly do is a good thing. Hopefully we won't need to worry about it this year, but, you never know. You never know. Lakewood Ranch webcam put into motion shows building clouds. Building clouds in inland areas. We've got good chances of showers and thunderstorms there as we progress through the afternoon. And the coast kind of clears out just a little bit. Such is not the case at this hour, though. We still have some showers along the coastline, but they're becoming less frequent than they were this morning. And certainly the thunderstorms that we have seen have been east of the interstate over the course of the last few hours. Got a couple pops of lightning ongoing now east of the interstate, and some fairly decent rain falling in places. Down to the south, we haven't seen quite as much shower and thunderstorm activity, and probably won't as we will in Sarasota and in Manatee County. Charlotte County, perhaps not quite as much today. Temperatures, as you just saw, generally running in the upper 80s to near 90 already, and we are looking at a very warm afternoon. I think again today we'll get very close to 92 degrees. Yesterday we hit 91. I think we'll get pretty close to that again today, especially as we start to see a little bit more sunshine in the second half, I think, of the day. We'll go with about a 50% chance of rainfall, building in inland areas mostly, and then drifting further and further away from our coastline. Complete forecast details coming up in just a few. Scott?
Thank you, John. We all watched their heroic rescue. The 12 Thai boys and their coach trapped for up to 18 days underground, and then the international rescue effort to save them. Now, for the first time, those boys are speaking with the media, and we're even seeing them up and out of the hospital. ABC's Maggie Rulli shows us what they're saying about lessons learned in that cave.
It's the moment the entire world has been waiting to see. Those 12 boys and their soccer coach trapped in a cave in Thailand for more than 2 weeks, now out of the hospital for the first time, walking, talking, even kicking around a soccer ball.
So that was a miracle moment.
One by one, they introduced themselves. Doctors say the boys look in great shape. Then after losing an average of 9 pounds in the cave, each has gained roughly 6 pounds back.
How are you? Yes, I am okay.
Adul Samon, the only one of the group who speaks English, talks about how he communicated with the British divers, uttering this now famous phrase.
We have 13.
They also spoke for the first time about how they made the difficult decision on who would leave the cave first, revealing they simply asked for volunteers. Up on stage, standing alongside the 3 Navy SEALs who led the rescue effort, the doctor who stayed with the team 3 miles underground for 9 days.
Happy and impressed.
And the boys also take a moment to honor Saman Kunan, the Navy SEAL who died trying to find them.
I want to say thank you to you and all of our family members.
They'll be ordained as monks to honor his legacy. Doctors say now their main concern are for the boys' minds. They're taking things slowly, and all those questions today at the press conference were filtered through the doctors. The hospital says they'll keep monitoring them for quite some time. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, a deadly plane collision in the Everglades. What investigators are focusing on as they recover the wreckage. And then later, the push to be ready for the 2020 Olympics. How construction is coming along in Tokyo on the new Olympic Stadium.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Temperatures are rising, and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years in a row. Get an all-new 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999, or save big and get up to $13,000 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
86 degrees. Now, the air temperature has been held down just a little bit by the cloud cover out there. But as the clouds begin to part and the sun begins to shine, I think we'll start to see that air temperature kind of climb pretty quickly in response to a little heating. West-southwest wind coming in breezy at about 10 to 11 miles, 10 to almost 15 miles per hour today. We'll get up to a heat index, are at a heat index of 97 degrees, mix of sun and clouds out there. And the reason for that 97 degrees is the dew point value, which has climbed to 77. That's about as high as it gets in Florida in the summer, 77 degrees, maybe a little bit higher, but that is really sticky, no doubt about it. We are looking at about a 50% chance of rainfall over the course of the next probably 4 hours or so. It'll be transitioning into inland areas, though, and eventually just gradually drifting toward the other coast completely as our rain chances start to fall during drive time tonight, most likely. Then overnight, quiet tomorrow morning. Once again, we'll do it all again. 30% chance of showers as you wake up tomorrow morning. We're looking at a lot of thunderstorm and shower activity to the north of us once again. Trough low pressure is kind of sunk south and is producing these showers in combination with a general southwesterly wind flow. With a westerly wind flow here locally, or west-southwest, we're probably going to see a lot of showers building in inland areas. You can already kind of see the line of showers beginning to build, and that line will gradually drift toward the other coast, where the east coast will see probably the heaviest of the rains. We got a few thunderstorms around here and there in inland areas well east of the interstate. Not a lot of thunderstorm activity toward the west of the interstate, and I really do think that we'll start to see things kind of quiet down there. One lone thunderstorm up around Palmetto moved inland, and that's sort of quieted everything down. Satellite view shows kind of a mix of sun and clouds out there for the remainder of the afternoon. We have this high pressure ridge down to the south held there by this frontal boundary, which is going to stall out. As it does that, the flow around the high pressure ridge brings us a westerly wind flow. That westerly wind flow takes the showers off Gulf waters in the morning, slings them to the coast, and then pushes them toward the other coast as we head into the afternoon. So the best chances of rain and thunderstorms are during this midday period that we have right now, for those showers to then begin to move inland, and then perhaps some drier air will filter in over the weekend, giving us some slightly lesser rain chances. Look at this graphic showing the moisture available for rain in the atmosphere. In this graphic, redder is wetter. And as we see, it's got a lot of red contours over the state of Florida. That's consequently why we've had a little bit of high rain chance over the last 24 hours, and we'll continue to do so over the next probably 3 days. But then as we head into Friday, we start to see a little tongue of drier air, indicated here by blue, coming across central Florida. And I think that's been kind of persistent in the models now for a couple days, and I think that we'll probably see the rain chance reduced just a little bit for a day or two before that moisture begins to return and rain chances begin to go back up. So if you're boating today, you'll be dodging a few scattered showers out there in the Gulf for the next 3 or 4 hours. Southwest wind coming in at about 10, light chop. 2-foot seas. Not a bad day for boating, except for those showers out there. 50% chance of rainfall through the next couple of hours. Probably a good chance again tomorrow, with temperatures each day in the near 90s. Then as we head into Saturday, I think we'll probably see the lowest rainfall chance day of all the weekend. In fact, of all the days in the 7-day, but especially the weekend. And then rain chances will go back up next week. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In health news today, a good incentive to eat more fish. A new study by the Journal of Internal Medicine looked at fish intake high in omega-3 fatty acids. Researchers followed nearly 250,000 men and 180,000 women for 16 years. And they found that higher total fish intake was associated with lower death risk for multiple categories, including heart-related deaths, cancer deaths, respiratory deaths, and chronic liver disease deaths. So eat that fish. A new treatment for type 1 diabetes may be around the corner. A study published in the Nature Partner Journal highlights a promising new use for a common generic vaccine. James Dinan explains.
It's called Bacillus Calamite-Guerin, or BCG. It's a vaccine used in a number of countries to prevent tuberculosis. But a new study shows it could one day play a role in treating type 1 diabetes. Also known as juvenile diabetes, type 1 diabetes means the immune system attacks the cells that create insulin, a critical hormone that regulates the body's blood sugar level, or A1C. In a small study, 12 patients' A1C levels decreased after receiving 2 doses of BCG spaced 4 weeks apart. Researchers observed 9 of the 12 patients for 5 years. The other 3 patients were monitored for 8 years. A1C levels in those 3 patients dropped more than 10% in the 3 years following their injections. Experts are cautiously optimistic, warning that the study did not provide enough clinical evidence. But phase 2 is already underway. The researchers behind the study are monitoring 150 diabetic patients for 5 years. It will be at least another 4 years before the research is published. For today's Health Minute, I'm James Dinan.
All right, let's head over to the kitchen now. ABC7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher is there with a guest today. Judy?
That's right. I'm here with Chef Rich from the Sandbar Restaurant up in Anna Marie Island. Thanks for taking the drive down today. And what are you making for us?
Today I'm making steamed Pine Island clams with garbanzo beans, heirloom tomatoes, and assorted herbs.
Sounds perfect to me, so stay with us. We'll be cooking in the kitchen in just a few minutes to enjoy.
Don't miss the exciting original musical review, Tops from Flops, playing July 11th through the 22nd at the Players Center. All the best songs from all the wrong shows from composers like Irving Berlin, Cole Porter, and more. Call 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll want to sing right along with Tops from Flops.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a ride-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
New at noon, a look at the stadium being built for the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics. The Japan Sports Council says the stadium is now about 40% complete. Around 2,000 workers are on that site each day. Construction was more than a year behind schedule when it started last December, but it is now on track to be finished in November of 2019. The Olympic Stadium is in central Tokyo, and it will be the centerpiece for the 2020 Games. It will seat 68,000 people. A new stadium on the Suncoast is not quite as big as that one in Japan, but it will be the focus of a celebration later this week. A ceremonial steel topping off ceremony for the new Atlanta Braves spring training facility in Northport is planned for this Friday. Dignitaries from the Braves, Sarasota County, West Villages, and others will all be there. The stadium will have an LED scoreboard, 8,000 seats, and then, of course, the complex there will have several practice fields. And it's all set to be complete by the end of this year. The Braves will play their last game of the 2019 spring training season at that new field. A former Suncoast baseball standout providing some late inning heroics during last night's Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
If the Reds were to fall further back over the next couple of weeks, here's one into right, back at the wall. This thing is tied.
That is Sarasota's Scooter Gennett hitting a game-time home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. However, the American League would go and break that tie in the 10th inning and win the All-Star game for the 6th year in a row, 8-6. Gennett is one of the top hitters in the National League this season for the Cincinnati Reds. Of course, he started at Sarasota High School before graduating in 2009. Gennett had dozens of family and friends at last night's game. I'm sure that meant a lot to all of them. Time now to get back over to the kitchen. Judy is there with her guest today from the Sandbar.
And I'm excited because I love clams, especially from the Sandbar. So let's get started and show me how to do your great dish.
Okay. I have a heavy-duty cast iron pan here, so I've been careful to preheat.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add some olive oil, some shallot, some garlic.
Yeah, now we're talking flavor.
And some chopped fresh rosemary.
Oh, so that's that little flavor bump that I get in the depth of the broth from the clams. Nice.
And I like to toast the rosemary with the herbs and the oil. So the oils from the rosemary mixed with the oils from the garlic and the shallots and the olive oil that I put in there.
You had me just at hello with this. I mean, if this is the only step, I could eat that on a piece of grilled bread and be happy, but there's more. So now you're going to crank up the heat a little bit.
Crank up the heat.
Okay.
Then I'm going to add my beer.
All right. I saw a lot of smiles as that beer started opening up. Perfect. So beer instead of the water is going to give it more flavor,
Yes.
right? Okay.
And this beer is very mild flavor. It has a little bit of bitterness, which I like as a compliment to clams.
Good.
Then I'm going to add my heirloom tomatoes.
Ooh.
Now it's important to break these up because they will get really hot and you don't want to bite into them unless they're punctured.
Oh, good point.
So they let out some of their heat.
No burn in the tongue, but I assume that's also going to infuse the flavor right into the tomatoes as well. So it's kind of fun because you could add pasta to this dish
most
as
definitely,
well, right?
most definitely.
A nice version of linguine and clam sauce.
Then I add my garbanzo beans.
And that's a fun treat because that also gives you that big bite of protein along with the clam. So it's quite a substantial dish.
And it also adds a little bit of starch to your meal.
Love it. Okay, so that's going to kind of the starch almost slightly thickens the broth, right? Okay, great.
And then I have these Pine Island clams, which are delivered fresh to the sandbar twice a week.
Yum. They're going to go in next. So why don't you go ahead and add those. We'll take a little break, and when we come back, there's more cooking to be achieved, and I am excited because I will be the taste tester today. Thanks.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
We are fighting for a cure, literally. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we'll meet a Suncoast couple who uses professional wrestling to give back to the fight against cancer. Being a musician or comedian is tough on its own, so let's combine them. We'll meet a hip-hop musical improv troupe straight from New York. Plus, we'll learn about the therapeutic art of cupping, and Chef Judy has junk food.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
You always think, is that my house going up right now? Am I seeing the product of my house in the sky?
The fast-moving fire in California is not slowing down how the weather is impacting fire crews. Car buyers beware, new tariffs could impact prices on the lot. Plus inside tricks on what it takes to win a national spelling bee competition.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. President Trump is clarifying comments he made after his summit with Vladimir Putin. The president appeared to side with the Russian leader over U.S. intelligence regarding Russia meddling in the 2016 election. Now the president is walking back those remarks. ABC's Megan Hughes shows us what he's now saying.
President Trump convening a meeting of his cabinet today as he's back to defending his summit with Vladimir Putin. In one of a series of tweets this morning, he says people at the higher ends of intelligence loved my press conference performance in Helsinki. No intelligence leaders have praised the summit publicly. In fact, it's received widespread condemnation, even from top Republicans.
We believe the European Union countries are our friends, and the Russians are not.
Top advisor Kellyanne Conway explaining why it took more than 24 hours for the president to try and clear things up.
He didn't understand what the big fuss was about, went back, read the transcript, looked at the clip, and said, I meant to say wouldn't, not would.
The president Tuesday said he misspoke when he said this.
I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
His walk back?
The sentence should have been, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't, or why it wouldn't be Russia.
The president read from a carefully written script endorsing the intelligence community's findings. But as he veered off script, he undercut his own clarification.
Russia's meddling in the 2016 election took place. Could be other people also. There's a lot of people out there.
It's a hedge he's made before.
I mean, it could be Russia, but it could also be China.
While the president's public comments have come under scrutiny, we still do not know the full details about what Trump and Putin discussed privately. Democrats are demanding top administration officials and even the U.S. translator who was in the meeting testify before Congress. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
New warnings about what the new tariffs could do to the price of cars, with the Trump administration considering a 25% tariff on cars built outside the U.S. The Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers now says that would raise the average price of an import by nearly $6,000. Some dealers say they're already stockpiling cars just in case. Fire crews in California are preparing for the winds to pick back up today, where a wildfire near Yosemite National Park has now grown to more than 13,000 acres. The so-called Ferguson fire continues to grow with no end in sight. The fire has been spreading quickly since it started on Friday, and it's still only about 5% contained. Firefighters are dealing with very difficult sloped terrain, and the weather has been hot and dry. The wind died down a little bit yesterday, but is expected to pick back up. Crews are working from the air when they can, but at times the thick smoke has kept them grounded.
The steep terrain, the smoking conditions, just getting access to the fire, all challenges that we're facing.
The wildfire claimed the life of 36-year-old Braden Varney over the weekend. Varney was helping cut fire lines when his bulldozer overturned. They just can't catch a weather break out there in California.
That's rough stuff.
Yeah. Here on the Suncoast, it's been muggy with
a
capital M.
It is, but you know, it's improved the fire danger around the area.
That's true.
You know, the fire danger was in a moderate category for the potential of fire danger, and now it's in a lower category, so that's good. Glad to see that. We still have this westerly wind flow, which continues to bring us these showers and thunderstorms. Right now, the heaviest of the stuff is located well inland, and I think that is going to continue to be the case through the afternoon hours. Right now, we're seeing some lightning pops around DeWitt, that area. Also coming in toward Palmetto, there's a pretty good shower in progress. Now down to the south, we haven't seen a whole lot of activity there. We saw one brief heavier shower move through areas around Venice and Northport earlier this morning, but things have been pretty quiet since then. Temperatures across the region certainly warm, 90 degrees already in inland areas, and also pretty close to the coastline in Venice and in Northport. We're seeing 89 degree temperatures. I think most places will hit the 90-degree mark again this afternoon. I think so. 92 we'll go with for a daytime high in Sarasota with about a 50% chance of showers. Those showers moving further and further inland as we go through the day. Complete forecast in a second. Scott?
John, thank you. A follow-up now in a deadly collision involving two small planes over the Florida Everglades. Authorities have identified the 3 people killed in that crash. Miami-Dade police say 22-year-old Jorge Sanchez, 72-year-old Ralph Knight, and 19-year-old Nisa Shujwal were all killed in the accident just west of Miami Executive Airport. Police are still searching for a possible 4th victim. The crash site is in wetlands of the Everglades, and you can only get there by an airboat. The 2 planes involved both belong to Dean International, which is a flight school based at that South Florida airport. The foundation that's building a memorial at the site of the Pulse shootings in Orlando now looking for design ideas. The memorial will honor the 49 people who were killed at the gay nightclub. The One Pulse Foundation is looking for ideas on how best to remember the victims and educate visitors about tolerance. Organizers say the ideas should touch on architecture and landscape. Submissions will be accepted through the end of August. Coming up later today on the all-new ABC 7 News at 4, a boy left unattended at a summer camp in Manatee County suffered heat exhaustion and passed out. Why more parents now continue to pull their kids out of that camp. Plus, red tide has been persistent in parts of the Suncoast for weeks now. We'll hear how it's impacting local businesses in South Sarasota County. We hope you'll join us this afternoon for ABC 7 News at 4. A Sarasota filmmaker has produced a new award-winning documentary that takes you behind the scenes of the Scripps National Spelling Bee. The film, Breaking the Bee, takes viewers inside the country's toughest spelling competition. It also explores why Americans of Indian descent have dominated the contest for the last 20 out of 24 years. Also interesting, just how the young competitors train for the spelling bees.
Schoolwork is finished, they're probably going to spend 2 to 3 hours studying. Some maybe a little bit more depending upon their level of interest and how close they are to a regional bee. But then on the weekend, that gets to be another level, where that could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. And in terms of the study guides, they have lists upon lists upon lists. It's not only lists that maybe they've acquired from different spelling bees that they've gone to, but now you're talking like 20-some years of other spellers.
Right now, the film is making the rounds at film festivals across the country. The plan is to have it in wide release later this year. All right, back over to the kitchen and check in again with Judy and her guest today from the Sandbar Restaurant.
C-L-A-M-S. That's my spelling word for the day. And Chef, let's continue this great dish.
Okay. Crank the heat up here.
Okay. Ooh, they're starting to open.
They are. Once they start to open, you know it's time to turn the heat down.
Okay.
Well, we're turning it up.
That's right,
But
just to get those
finish
last
it.
ones. And this stove's a little off in temp-wise. Now, the rule of thumb is if they don't really start to pop open themselves, then those are the ones that you don't eat, right?
No, that's actually inaccurate.
Ooh,
that
tell
means
me.
they're very healthy and strong. So
Really?
it just takes a little longer to open them up.
Okay.
Or you can actually just pry them open like I'm doing
now
here.
that the old wives' tale is, right?
Yes.
Is not to eat those, so that's good to know.
Well,
And-
I learned this because these are extremely fresh, so
Right.
they take a very long time to open.
And very local, being the Pine Island. It smells so delicious.
Yes.
Okay, so we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So what do we do next?
Well, the beer does add a little bit of bitterness, so what I
Mhm.
like to do is finish it with some butter
Oh, yeah.
to kind of give it a little richness.
Okay, salted or unsalted? Does
Unsalted.
It make a difference? Okay.
So that's an important thing. With clams, I don't add salt because they're grown in salt water, so they add enough salt as it is, so I don't need to add any additional.
Sounds good.
And sometimes I like to take different herbs. I have some Caribbean oregano here.
Ooh,
and
look
I'll
how
just-
big the leaves
They
are on this.
And they grow great in Florida all year round.
You were saying you're growing it right at your place. Oh, it's almost between a lemon balm, a mint, and an oregano.
That's delicious.
Very nice
And then
flavor.
I have Thai basil.
Oh,
And
yeah.
This is something you do with the flower buds that are growing on top of your basil. You just rip them off and sprinkle them in there, little
Love
seeds.
Thai basil. What a flavorful dish, and the clams are just absorbing all that.
Yes.
Okay, and what do we have to do to finish it off? Any wine, any parsley, or really that's it?
The wine isn't going in, but
Okay, but
this,
it's going in the glass.
This Lola Chardonnay is great when it comes to giving a more of a buttery finish and complementing the clams.
Sounds great. So I'll be back for a taste in just a minute, and we're going to tell you where you can get to see Chef again at an awesome annual event for Trash Fish coming up very soon. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease a new Subaru Impreza today for just $155 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
When you are home alone, an emergency can become a tragedy. However, with any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, whether in the bathroom,
I've fallen in the shower.
at home,
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
and on the go.
Help! I've fallen in the park and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-518-0221. That's 1-800-518-0221. Call now, 1-800-518-0221. For a free brochure, call 1-800-518-0221.
Don't miss the exciting original musical review, Tops from Flops, playing July 11th through the 22nd at the Players Center. All the best songs from all the wrong shows from composers like Irving Berlin, Cole Porter, and more. Call 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll want to sing right along with Tops from Flops.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Air temperature coming in at 86 degrees right now. We have a feels like temperature of 97 already. So definitely going to have a feels like temperature of 100 today with a dew point of 77. That is steamy, no doubt about it. I mean, we woke up this morning with a dew point of 75, 76, and now to have 77. Thanks to that stronger west-southwest wind coming in now at about 11. And I think we'll have that through the remainder of the afternoon. In fact, we'll have this kind of southwesterly wind flow, southwest, west wind flow throughout probably the next couple of days for sure. 50% chance of rainfall for the remainder of the early afternoon, the next couple of hours or so, although that chance is going to become more and more pronounced in inland areas and less pronounced along the coastline. And as we head into the evening hours, I think most of that rainfall will have moved all the way over to the other coast and we'll be left with just maybe a 20% chance of showers. And again, that will mostly be in inland locations. Quiet overnight, then tomorrow morning, do it all over again. We'll have another chance at seeing some showers around. Even this morning, you know, we had feels like temperatures that were in the upper 80s. That's how sticky the morning started off. A lot of thunderstorm activity up here to the north of us. We have a trough of low pressure kind of sinking southward, now putting on the brakes in parts of north central Georgia. That frontal boundary helping to induce some of these showers you see here. Plus, we have this now southwesterly wind flow that's helping to drag some of the moisture further to the north. Locally, we're starting to see the showers build stronger in inland areas. That's where the heavier rain showers are, but there are still a few little pops of moderate rainfall out in Gulf waters that are gradually drifting closer to the coastline. We'll watch that. Parrish right now seeing some pretty good showers and thunderstorms ongoing there. Good pops of lightning heading up toward areas of Hillsborough County and probably further to the west. This will probably tag to wet as it moves toward the west into the northwest. A little bit of cloud cover around, but plenty of sunshine as well to help boost our temperatures up, so not too worried about seeing temperatures in the 90s today. High pressure pushed to the south by this frontal boundary, which sags and stalls. And as it does that, we get the showers and thunderstorms to the north. We get a lot of thunderstorm activity in the spine of the state that's pushed toward the other coastline thanks to this westerly wind flow. That'll be the case today as we get the best chance of showers during the midday, but it's mostly in inland areas. And then the strongest storms mostly in inland areas. A little bit of drier air filters down toward the end of the week, and hopefully that'll kind of reduce rain chances just a little bit for those of you who have weekend plans. Of the weekend, I think probably Saturday will be the drier of the 2 weekend days. Southwest wind at about 10 knots makes for a pretty nice weekend, a pretty nice boating day, I think. 92 today, tomorrow, the day after, we start to see a little drier air filter in, reducing our rain chance for Saturday, but it's short-lived. Rain chances go back up next week. Scott?
John, thank you. In consumer news today, a huge fine. Google is being ordered by the European Commission to pay $5 billion for unfairly pushing its apps on smartphone users and thwarting competitors. The Commission says Google broke the law by requiring manufacturers to install its Google Search and Chrome apps as a condition for licensing Google's App Store. Google says it will appeal that decision. The world's largest hotel company is joining the straw movement. Marriott International plans to remove plastic straws and drink stirrers from all of its 6,500 hotels and resorts worldwide by next year. Marriott says the move will eliminate about 1 billion straws and 250 million stirrers by next July. Plastic straws are too small to be easily recycled, and many wind up in the ocean. A new Detweiler's Farm Market is now open in Palmetto. The local grocery is officially opened its 45,000 square foot store in a long-closed Winn-Dixie along US 301 this morning. This is Detweiler's first store in Manatee County. It has more grocery options than the other locations, as well as a health and wellness department. So if you're looking for some entertainment for the family this summer, look no further than the West Coast Black Theater's latest show. Here's John with a special guest.
Scott, thanks very much. Nate Jacobs joins us now, friend of the show, and a friend of the Suncoast View, too.
Yes,
You're a frequent co-host of the Suncoast View.
Always love being here.
So you got a neat kind of offering coming up. It's already opened here?
No, it opens next week.
Right?
Yes. We open
25th.
previews on the 25th. And it's Rocking Down Fairy Tale Lane, which is an original musical.
That you wrote.
I did.
It's very original.
Yes. I actually wrote it 20 years ago.
Oh, no kidding.
For a school that I work with, West Coast School for Human Development. And over the years, some of the students who are now adults would say, you need to bring this show back. Your patrons don't know about Rocking Down. So I took this summer to kind of bring it back to the stage.
Oh, cool.
Yes, on a more professional level.
So how many years ago did you first come up with this idea?
20 years.
Oh, so you were like pre-Into the Woods and all those shows kind of. So you were right there.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about what the show is and how it's structured.
It's my own twist on some of our most popular fairy tales, Jack and the Beanstalk, The Three Little Pigs, Snow White, what else we talk about, and Goldilocks. And it's about life in general and how we all are connected in one way or the other.
Oh, cool.
Forgiveness.
So do all of these characters kind of interact on stage together?
They
Are
all
separate stories?
interact.
They
Yes.
do. Neat.
And it's a world, fairy tale land, where we see the inside of some of these characters like you've never seen before. So it is hilarious. All the music is original. I wrote the music for the show. I had some help from Joey James, who is our education coordinator, who did some edits in the script to, you know, bring it up to a whole nother level
Neat.
for this summer. But the show is entertainment for kids 2 to 92.
And tickets are still available?
Tickets are still available,
I
but
can't
hurry,
think
get to the box office. Yes.
Can't think of a better thing to do with the kids this summer, you know?
Yeah, we want to get, you know,
Get
it's
them
summertime.
introduced to
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. West Coast Black Theater Troupe. The information was on your screen there, and it's on our website. So be sure and check them out. Nate, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks,
Appreciate
John.
it.
Appreciate it.
Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a new dangerous world record attempt. What a man in New York was able to accomplish to get himself in the record books yet again.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hello, I'm John Merce. Rugs As Art is celebrating yet another anniversary, and I would personally like to thank each and every one of you for the many years of continuous support. All during the month of July, we're having a grand celebration. We have flooded our showroom with yellow tag specials, meaning more discounts and more savings than ever before, plus free padding. So don't miss this anniversary celebration at Rugs As Art, Sarasota's bigger and better area rug superstore.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
And here we have it, Chef, the aroma and flavors of Pine Island clams, right? Steamed in beer with all these fresh flavors. Now, I tried the clam. Tell everybody about what's coming up, because it's formerly known as Trash Fish Dinner.
It's now known as the Sustainable Seafood Dinner. It's on August 5th at Louis Modern.
And you can get tickets through Edibles Sarasota. I will see you there. It's a great event. In the meantime, you can get this recipe on our website, www.mysuncoast.com/dining. Don't forget to enter to get a possible $50 gift card if you win by signing up for our newsletter. I'm going to have a few more clams and send it back to you guys. Thanks, Chef.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Sports and entertainment collide tonight. The 2018 ESPY Awards will be hosted by retired racing driver Danica Patrick. She's the first woman to ever host the show. One of the highlights will be when Buffalo Bills Hall of Fame quarterback Jim Kelly receives the Jimmy V Award for the toughness and perseverance he's displayed during his ongoing cancer battle. You can catch the ESPYs live at 8 o'clock tonight right here on ABC 7. The life of the late actor Paul Walker will be celebrated in a new documentary. Walker, who shot to fame as the star of the franchise Fast and Furious, was killed in a car crash in 2013. He was in the passenger seat of a Porsche when the driver slammed into a light pole, causing the car to burst into flames. The documentary, I Am Paul Walker, will feature family footage of Walker and interviews with his family members and friends. The film will premiere on August 9th. Michelle Williams is talking openly about her own need to seek help for depression. In a post on Instagram, the Destiny's Child singer talked about mental health. Williams says she recently saw a team of healthcare professionals for depression and is now healthy and proud to lead by example. She has worked for years to raise awareness about mental health. Could be a sign of another reboot. Britney Spears says she's open to the idea of reuniting with her fellow cast members of a show that made them all stars. 25 years after her big break on the Mickey Mouse Club, Spears told Entertainment Tonight that it was probably the most special time in her life and that she would definitely show up for a reboot. The show also catapulted Justin Timberlake, Kerry Russell, Christina Aguilera, and Ryan Gosling to fame. Why is he doing this? Well, this man now holds the Guinness World Records than anyone else, proving once again he's a cut above the competition. Ashrita Furman set a new record yesterday in New York for slicing the most watermelons in half on his stomach in 1 minute. Furman sliced through 26 of the gourds in that 1 minute time. That's 6 more than he needed to establish the new record. According to Furman, he has gone into the record book at least 750 times. He says 225 of those records still stand. So you could just take anything.
He could do my prep.
Right.
I could give him carrots, celery, onions. I'm thinking.
And then he can set a new world record.
Doesn't astound me that he's got the world record. It astounds me that there is a world record for cutting watermelons on your stomach.
Just pick something and then do it. Yeah.
It's amazing to me. Just amazing.
I think I'll stick with my knife.
All right, that's the way to go. Yeah. Showers out in Gulf waters kind of moving on shore, still near the coast, but they will be focusing in inland areas over the next hour or 2 or 3. Bob, of course, tracking those on radar later in the day.
That's right. We invite you back at 4 o'clock. Hope to see you then, everyone.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Florida's coral reefs are declining. Bad news for our oceans and marine life. Fortunately, you can help, and you don't have to dive, you just have to drive. When you purchase Moat's Protect Our Reefs license plate, $25 goes directly to Moat Marine Laboratory, whose research, restoration, and conservation programs are helping this precious natural resource thrive once again. So get your Moat Protect Our Reefs license plate today. You just might hold the key to saving Florida's reefs.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.